Okay, so to introduce myself, my name is Aaron and I represent Leeds Tai Chi Academy. In Leeds, I teach Tai Chi, Qigong and meditation, usually all together but sometimes separately. I'm going to be teaching today some Qigong in little packages which should be around 20 minutes long. And that should enable us to exercise the physical body, to stretch and strengthen if you want to, but also the trademark of Qigong exercise is that it's internal as well. And that means it's literally internal to the physical body. So we're going to be working internal organs like the diaphragm, the lungs, the heart, and we're going to be doing that consciously. Okay. Hello again, I'm Aaron, Leeds Tai Chi Academy. This is the second video leading people through another Qigong sequence. This is a very famous one, it's called Badoan Jin, or in English it's translated as the 8 Strands of Brocade. Let's breathe naturally, and we're going to count 4 phases of breathing. 1, breathing in, a little pause to absorb the oxygen, and breathing out, then a pause and wait for the in-breath to come back again. Let it be natural, don't hold it, don't force it. Just let it be as deep as it can be without forcing. Full breath, full yogic breath, the full Taoist breath. Good. And then the next thing I need to show you is how to sit correctly. Go to the side here. You need to not allow the knees to go forward. You want to stay above the middle of the foot, and then I'm going to push it or back. I'm going to use the hands in various different movements to keep the body back. This is upright, rather than letting the toes come off the ground or having to bend over. We're going to be upright using the hands like this. Okay. So first exercise, Badoan Jin, supporting the sky. You sit a little bit like this. I'm going to bring the hands in like this and have them palm up. Then they're going to pull up like this, and standing up, hands are now at shoulder height. Turn, you can sit back a little bit here if you want to, push the hands up, and then as you push up, because you feel like it's pulling through the ribs, and that pulls you up upright, it's kind of like stretching your front out so the hands are directly above, and you can look up, push and push and push, feel it opening up under the arms, the ribs, front of the body. And then we're going to sit back, turn the hands to the side, drop the elbows and come down in a circle in front of the body, like this. And the hands go palm up, pull them up, turn, stretch up. So with Badoan Jin, it's 8 exercises, and we do a number of repetitions for each one. So I'm going to choose 8 repetitions and make it symmetrical, if you like, harmonious. So what's that? 3? Is that 3? I've lost count. Call it 3. Stretch up, sit, and you can see from the side that my hands are coming to the front and not here like that. Now I could interlace the fingers as well, if I wanted to. Some people prefer to do it that way. Stretch up and coming down. Is that 5? I always lose count. Now breathing, you could We're going to employ a breathing pattern. I'm going to suggest a breathing pattern for each of these exercises. But you can change it. It's not mandatory to breathe in the particular way that I'm going to show you. So what I could do is I could have breathing in here, standing. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. Still breathing in. This is very good for developing the lungs. And then breathing out. Like that. I could do it the other way. So I could, instead of breathing in coming, I could breathe out. So I'll take a breath now. I could be breathing out. And breathing in here. It's possible. In my style of Tai Chi Qigong, we recommend letting the body dictate how much and when to breathe. So just relax and do natural breathing. But if you have in mind to do a particular exercise of breathing, it's useful to strengthen the lungs. So I think I've done 8 or more, so I'm going to come back to stand now. And again, just coming back to the normal posture. Breathe deeply, absorb the oxygen, expel the air, and wait patiently for the breathing to come back. Now that gap before waiting for the in-breath is often referred to as the meditator's gap because you're just observing quietly. Let the mind rest in simple observation. Any thoughts come in, just let them drift by and choose to refocus your attention on the breathing. It's an exercise, saving energy, refocusing, centering. Okay, so feel relaxed and breathing's come back to normal again. So I'm going to do the next one, second exercise, second strand. I'm going to start the same way, like sitting and crossing the arms. See, I've got a space in front, not too tight in, big space, everything's stretched around. Whichever arm is on the outside, this is going to turn and go up now. And the other one is going to come down, like this. The top one is above the head, the lower one to the side of the body, and you can turn and look to the side. Then bring the hands in, so you can see from the side. Sitting back, bring the hands in front, helping me to stay upright. The lower one is going on the outside, and the upper one coming down on the inside, like this. Then the one that was on the outside came up, is going to go up, and the other one is going to come down. Like this, and turn to that side. Down, turn to that side. Then I'm going to repeat. So it's to do it once on each side, as we've done, that's 1 repetition. I'm going to do another 7. So now what about breathing here? So I feel I'm breathing in here, and breathing out here. As I said, I could change it if I wanted to. Do this. I could continue breathing in, that's an option. If I wanted to just stretch the lungs a bit. I have to breathe in now. No doubt I'm going to lose count again. I think I'm on about 4 or 5, something like that. It's not a hard and fast rule. Obviously you can do as little or as many repetitions as you like. If you've got tired by now, you can take a break and just stand if you like, or sit down if you need to, and just wait for me to get to the next exercise. Or pause and come back and do all these repetitions when you're ready. It's up to you. Now I'm breathing out here. I'm breathing in here. My body changed it by itself. But I'm paying attention to what the breathing is doing. And you can see I'm stretching the body, opening it so that I can take in more oxygen. And now breathing in. And changed it again. I think I've done 8 here, so I'm going to come back to where we started. The exercise like this, crossing. And then I'm going to just push this away, like that, open, and press down, stand back up, and come back to a standing exercise. So the next exercise, the next strand, is changeable. I'm going to do this one. This is going to be drawing the bow and shooting an arrow. So I'm going to go around like this now. Can you see I'm taking my arms around to the front, and I'm going to bring the forearms together like this. And I'm sitting. And then I'm going to stay sitting, and I'm going to turn to this side, and that hand is going to turn to push out, and the other one is going to pull back. And then I start to stand. Stand up, looking at that hand to that side, pulling this one far back as though this is the drawstring of the bow and arrow. See how high I've got my elbow, not down here. So it's straight, pull in that direction, and then let this hand come out. So I'm stretching out like that, and then I'm coming back round. Coming back round to this position, and then I'll go to the other side. Turn this hand out, this one goes to this position, standing up. Looking, stretching open the front of the body, and let this hand go, the head comes to the front, I'm coming back round. So I've done one on each side. Breathing out. Nice and relaxed. You need to be tense. Breathing in, breathing out. Stretch as much as you want. Back down. So I put my hands away from the body, not tight in. Big shape like that. Now I've changed, it's probably because I'm talking and my breathing is changing. Breathing in now, I was breathing out there before. There's no need to be too tense about this stuff. Just do what you can. The objective is to stretch and open and get a little bit of exercise. So even if you feel like you're doing it completely wrong, so long as you're not hurting yourself, you're doing it right. Inevitably, I've lost count again. I'm just going to go with the feeling. This is a bit harder, this exercise. I could make it harder. Why don't I try and make it a bit harder just to demonstrate if you want to go harder. Go down a bit lower like this. And I could even stay down if I wanted to. Like that. Or I could be higher. I could be up here. I don't have to go down at all, just a little bit. can see slow and rhythmic. There's a quality to that. The technical term is reeling silk. It's pulling gently so that you're not creating any stress, but there's some genuine effort, continuous effort. Coordination, so you sit at the same time, however deep, it could be just a tiny bit. And I'm going to come back round to the crossing. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to push away, open, and press down. Keep breathing. The next exercise, I'm going to start by bringing the hands in like this. Can you see? Backs of the hands facing, and I just sat down a little bit. The hands are forward the body, not too tight. Now I'm going to open them like this and go to the side. As I do that, I'm standing up, and I'm going to do a little back bend, and I'm going to turn and look over one shoulder. And then I'm going to come sit back down again and bring the hands back like this. And then again standing, turn to the other side. Come back down. Stretch up, little back bend, look behind. I'll show the back bend on this side. So you could just go to here, so you're upright, and just look. Or you could push back, see, and stretch and look over. Turn. Back over. Distance of the hands in front of the body. And again, coming up on the other side. Now, if you wanted a little more effort, you could again sit deeper, and when you come up, you can go onto the horizontal foot like this. Stretch, stretch, stretch. It's not essential to do every little detail. I'm just showing you a few possibilities. You get the general idea. You're coming, folding in, backs of the hands in, a little sit if you want. If you didn't want to do much sitting, that's okay. You're stretching out, keep the hands away from the body. Turn and open, back down at the front, and open again. Let's do one more and then we'll go to the rest period. Stretch, stretch, stretch on this one. Might as well. Might as well. And the last one. Come back to the front. I'm just going to open and come back to standing. And breathing. 4 phases of breathing. Let the in-breath fill the form, just make it big. And then as you breathe out, keep that big feeling, but with the relaxation. next strand. A little bit more effortful. Do the easy version, and then I'll do a harder version. So you can see I'm stepping out a little wider. I'm going to sit back a little bit. Now, if I wanted to do it as a really strong exercise, I'd have an even wider stance, and I would sit back so much that the thighs have gone horizontal almost. I'm not going to do it like that today, just to show you that in case you want me to try a harder version. And slightly shorter, but still wider than the first position. Sit back a little bit like this. Maybe it's better to be a little wider like that. And I'm going to position my hands at my hips and my thighs like this. Now I'm going to turn like this, I'm going to go down like this, bringing my body to this knee. Keep it horizontal all the way around to the other knee, and then come upright looking in that direction. And then I'm going to go back down the other way. So for this, I need to breathe. I'm going to breathe in. Make sure the knees don't come in. Keep them out like this. Going down. Horizontal, still breathing out all the way around. And then breathing in, coming back up and looking this direction. And breathing out again. And we'll repeat. Now if you wanted to, you can lean back as well. You don't have to go all the way to the knee, because they've got some distance here. You can play it by ear. I could just go down a little bit like this. Or if I want to test myself, I can go down all the way. So this is a strong exercise, so I'm just going to do one more. Get to the top, turn back to the front, and we can circle our arms now and press down. Stand up. Back to standing exercise, letting the heart rate and the breathing calm down. To stay relaxed. Obviously some effort from the aerobic quality. But just bear in mind how much good that's doing to the heart and lungs. Training the diaphragm to be stronger. Training the lungs to take more oxygen. The whole body in harmony, distributing the oxygen around the body, which is stronger now, better maintained. Calming down the thinking, focus the mind on the breathing. Okay, the next strand. I'm going to take the hands now behind your back to the kidney area like this. So reputed to be good, particularly for the kidneys, for rub if you like, and warm them up. And now we're going to go into a forward bend, and the hands are going to come down the back of the legs. And then they're going to come around to the front. At this point you want to drop your head so that your spine is stretched out. Your knees can bend a little bit, they'll relieve the pressure on the back. Let the hands come to the inside of the feet, And as you come upright, draw the hands on the inside of the legs. And when you're coming upright, the hands are coming up the front of the body like this. And then we're just going to go up. Fingers lead up, feet down, stretching, 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 stretching. And then let the hands fall down. I would recommend that when you're up here, sit a little. Pull the ribs, and then that pulls the shoulders and elbows, and let the elbows come down, so the hands are now floating down on the air. A little sit, and then when we get to shoulder height, we start to stand up. So the distance of the hands from the body, not too tight in. Then again, come round to the back. Down again. Coming up the inside of the leg. Stretching up. And down. One more time. Drop your head. Uncurl gradually. When your hands come up, it's as though the hands have an effect inside the body. We say that there's a relationship with the spine. It's like a filter. You can imagine, if you like, if you're getting any sensations in the fingers of the body, you might be feel like they're connected. They are. It's like you're drawing a filter through the body, like this. Stretch up through the top of the head. Reach up, and now you can feel it pulling all the way throughout the body. And now this filter is coming down. Relax the shoulders and elbows, now coming through the head. Pushes down through the body, and then you're standing up, going right down through the feet to the ground. Stretch back, or bend. Stretch the back out. The more we go, the more stretchy the body will feel. Because this way of practicing, gradual and slow, teases out the body's capabilities. So it's typical that when people do a few of these, they suddenly find that they can stretch much further than they thought they ever could. And it stays with you after you've done the session for quite some time. And the more of it you do, the stretchier and stronger your body becomes. You might also feel like inner qualities, like your digestion might be a bit easier. You might find that your breathing is definitely going to be deeper. You might find that the ailments that you have start to ease off a little bit. I'm not saying it's like a magic potion, you can't cure things overnight, but with repeated practice, you're actually rebalancing the body, making it function better. And that goes for the mind as well. So I'm going to make this the last one. I can feel how much it's stretching me out. Oh, and then come back down. Okay. Sitting handstand. Come back to a standing exercise and breathing. Okay, now, next strand, next exercise. Slightly wider stance. We could do it wider again, but we're just going to not to be excessive, just a little, and we're going to sit back again. I want to get my hands around to this position. You could circle them like this. So here, or from this position, you could just draw them up like this. What I want, can you see, is my elbows pulled back. So the front of the body is stretched open. Hands at the side of the ribs, and the elbows tucked in, so not like this. So as though the line of your forearm is showing the line we're going to punch from that line. What I'm going to do is punch on either side. And as I punch, I'm going to rotate the hand. Can you see this? So now the thumb is underneath. And then I'm going to open the hand, turn it palm up, curl the hands over, fingers over, and draw it back. And then the other side. It's rotating, like that, punching to the centre. Turn it up, fingers over, thumb on the top, and draw back. Okay, like that. So I'm going to have it as kind of standing up relatively. I don't want to be standing fully up with straight legs, a little bit of a sit. But when I punch out, I'm going to sit back a little bit more. And the fact that I'm punching out will help to stabilise my posture, keep me upright. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to go. Breathe in, and breathe out, punching. Punch the centre. Turn the hands over, breathing in. Still breathing in when you draw the hand back. And breathing out on the other side. Still breathing in. And the other side, breathe out. Now this exercise is sometimes related to anger. Its names are translated as things like punching with anger. But really it's not about anger, it's about intensity. But that intensity has an effect on our anger in the sense that it reduces anger. So one translation of the name is, I don't speak any Chinese language, so I don't know how it is in the original. We just go by translations and traditions. So one of my instructors has described this as punching with anger, punching with an angry face to reduce anger. Something like that. Punching with an angry face, or gaze, angry gaze, to reduce anger. The angry gaze is this intensity. Just like that. Not really anger, it's intensity. And you'll find that because you've used that sort of intensity, you feel calmer, placid, not like a doormat, but just at peace. That's the feeling of it. And stay upright. So breathing in and draw it back. Timing the punch with the breath. So you're drawing out the breath, making the movement as slow as possible so that you have to exercise the breathing. I'm going to finish this repetition on that one, so I've got time to put in the last strand. Just circle the hands round, press down to stand up, and step back into our basic posture. Again, breathing. Again, staring with intensity into the distance, at the space. But don't focus in on a point. Open up so you can take everything in. You're just not darting your eyes around, looking at it all. You're just taking it all in one go and staying relaxed in the centre. Now the very last, the 8th one, So kind of rounding it off and releasing the latent tension. So do a forward bend followed by a back bend and then a little hop. Do that like this. Just reaching over, sitting a little bit, letting the hands come down the body. And we're going to go into a forward bend. Some people stop here, that's fine if you want to do this. Just like this, hanging, can you see, turtle back, so it's rounded, like that. And coming up, like this. And then now I want to do the opposite, a back bend, and open the hands out like this, the head straight. It's just the arms and the head pulling the back over. And then when we finish the stretch, you come upright like this, and the hands are to the side. And then we're going to raise the heels off the ground and come down heavy like that, so that you shake the body. I'm going to do it a couple of times like that. And you could even come off the ground. There we go again. Now this time I'm going to go all the way down. Often I'll do it to here. This is good because it stretches the back. Sometimes though I can lengthen the legs. It's a slightly different stretch. Reaching down with the hand and let the head drop. And then coming up again. So sitting a little bit, bend the knees. Maybe pressing, uncurling the back gradually. And then push the hips forward, tailbone down, so you're not crunching too much at the back. And then just opening out, keep the head straight. You don't want to go too far back, you can overdo it. There's an important nerve there that people do pass out if they go crazy and try and do gymnastics. You have to train a lot to do that sort of movement. But a little back bend is really good for you, and not damaging. And then you can come up, upright, and then little shake. Are you okay for time?
Mm-hmm.
Again. Right. Just releasing. Now it could also stay down here a little bit longer if you wanted to, but just be aware that if you do that, your back will be very much stretched out, and you need to be careful. If you're not used to stretching the back, don't try to stay down here too long. But if you've done a little bit, if you've done this video a few times, you might want to just stay down here to oxygenate your brain, get blood into the brain and stretch the back out. But if you do that, when you come up, be very careful coming up. You'll feel your back coming back into shape. And we're going to do the same with the front. Open, stretch and stretch and stretch. With practice, you'll be able to go further back, but make sure it's with ease, that you're not overdoing it. Because even that slight bend, if you stay there for a little longer and do a couple of breaths, you'll feel the tissues of your body opening. It's the opening we want, it's not damage, right? Just want to be kind to our body. Set it free from its tension. Upright. And then I'll just do one more. I've forgotten, lost my count, as always, but I think we've done enough repetitions. You can always do more at home, if you so choose. Go. And then settling down back to our basic posture. And breathing. Now we may feel a bit dizzy, in which case, if it's too hard to handle, sit down immediately until it passes. It's not damaging, it's just your brain getting used to that much oxygen. if you can bear with it, stay in the posture, remember the form, the shape, and relax it. Relax the feet, relax the belly, relax the jaw, relax the eyes, just resting in forward gaze, and relax the mind. So thoughts, just let them drift. Let the attention rest on the breathing and the way the body feels. And then we'll finish it up. Thank you.